Alright, so I've got an update on the Sea Ray. Have not actually done anything to the boat itself, but scored a donor boat. Has a really nice Alpha 1 Generation 2 outdrive. Really good condition. Has Bennett boat tabs. And here's the part I'm really excited about. Mercruiser 5.0 MPI motor. 260 horsepower at the prop. So essentially what I'm going to do is take what I need out of it and junk the boat. This came with a heat exchanger. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use for a cooling system for it, but I have some options. On the motor itself, the starter was junk. The alternator was seized, although I did get it freed up. Whether it works or not still, I'm not sure. But that's because the water pump was leaked water on the parts that are not working. But I can take the motor out, the hydraulics, the trim pump, the boat tab pump, all the wiring. That shifter right there, it's not going to go on the Sea Ray. However, I can take that off and put that on my Wellcraft. My throttle button is junk, and that is the identical shifter. So, really excited about this score. It's going to be some work. I don't get to keep the trailer, so I have to pop it off the trailer and take what I need out of it. Then I'm going to probably end up cutting up the boat and junking it, but really good score, excellent condition. It was maintained by the same marina I use, and I cannot say enough about those guys. Nipmuc Marine and Auto over in Mendon, Massachusetts. Ron Spindell is the owner. Great guy. His wife Shirley and Bob, the other guy who works there. Both amazing people. So if you hear this and you're in the central Massachusetts area, definitely check them out. There's a water pump I was telling you about. So that thing was leaking, which was causing the original problem. The previous owner would have cost him about $1,200 to get it fixed. Didn't want to put the money into it, so selling the boat. I was lucky to score the boat off him, and he cannot beat the price. But what I'm going to do today, and this isn't going to be a how-to video, there's plenty of those on YouTube, but I'll just kind of walk through the steps. I'm going to take the outdrive off so that I can lower the boat on a stand-in block so I don't have to worry about the outdrive. So I'm going to do this. There is some caps that go over the pin for the trim tab, for the trim cylinders. I already took those off. Those are right up here. Let's turn and pull off, but there's a retaining clip right here. Take that off, pound this pin through the cylinder, through the outdrive, out the other cylinder until the cylinders are not connected anymore. And that will allow you to, by hand, raise and lower the drive. Once you're done with that, there are 6 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that you undo. And then from there, you pull the drive off. Probably have to wiggle a little bit up and down before it'll separate, and then pull it right off. If you are taking this project and some of the how-to videos that are on YouTube, we'll go over this. Before you start, put the shifter in forward. If you do not, you will not be able to get the outdrive off. With the outdrive off, I'll show you the mechanism that puts it into gear, but that'll better explain why you have to put it in the forward before you get the drive off. So for now, I'll shoot a quick little update after I get this drive off. Hopefully it doesn't take very long. Alright, so far so good on the outdrive. As you can see, I have the pin removed. Outdrive is just hanging there. And again, it was one clip that I just pushed off of the flathead screwdriver. There was a single washer on the outside. So you can see right here. Same setup for the other side. And then I just lightly tapped it with a hammer until I was able to get enough leverage on the other side of the pin. And I was lucky enough to pull it out. Not all you are going to be as lucky as I am, so, you know, it might take tapping with a hammer and using a, a socket to get it pushed through that hole. Another idea is, you know, as you're hitting with the hammer, put a little upward pressure on the drive so it takes off, you know, some weight and force off of that pin so it'll slide a little bit easier through. But now it's removing these 6 nuts rather, as I mentioned. First thing I did was put the drive in forward, and these are 5/8 inch nuts. So remove these, and we'll just be lifting up and down on the drive to break it loose, and it should just slide right off. Excuse me. These things are pretty heavy, so it might be a good idea to have 2 people do it, unless you're really strong, or, you know, sometimes people rig together some type of apparatus to take these on and off. So, you know, outdrive cart or something. But that's where I'm right now, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's removed. Alright, as you can see, I got the outdrive off. You know, pretty easy. Like I said, those 6 nuts, 5/8 inch each, and then just, you know, rocking the thing back and forth, and see, we'll slide it right off. One thing that I did fail to mention I want to cover now is that right here, the little tube that actually has a hose that runs to the engine, and there's an outdrive reservoir that is designed to have some extra gear lube in it in case you get low. To avoid that draining out, what I did was, you know, up along the reservoir, and I'll show you, just put some vice grips on the hose. Obviously there's going to be a little bit that runs out, you know, there's some gear lube in the hose, but got a pan right there to catch it. But you know, it seems to be in pretty good shape in here. So quickly show you that reservoir for the extra outdrive gear lube, and it is that right next to the fuel filter. You see right there the vice grips are hanging out, but it's a rubber hose. Clamp it up. You don't want to do it too tight. You don't want to puncture the hose. It's not cheap if you have to replace it, but something definitely you want to do to avoid a mess. Here's the outdrive. So one thing I did want to point out is why do you have to put it in forward gear? This little shift arm right here is facing straight back. Sorry if you can't see it that well, but there we go. That is facing straight back. Faces straight back when it is in forward gear. If it's not facing straight back, the drive will not come off. It'll come off a hair, but you won't be able to actually get it off of the studs. Alright, but as you can see, the drive's in really good condition. One thing I did notice, which was a little bit alarming, was that on the port side of the drive, where it has the, spin this around, sorry about the camera, where it has the serial number, has a drive ratio too, and drive ratio, I'm not sure you can see it, 1.62. Curious about that 1.62 application, because I thought that was something that goes with a V6 motor, not a V8, which is the 5.0. So something I have to look into. Obviously a different boat. I want to make sure that I'm set up correctly. But Worst case scenario, I sell this outdrive and I get the one that I need. I haven't taken it apart yet or pressure tested, but looks in great shape. The anodes need to be replaced, but that's something that you should do every, year, a couple years, depending on the type of water you use it in. But, worst case scenario, the outdrive is probably one of the last things I'm going to put on the boat, on the Sea Ray, before I fire it up and make sure everything works. So, plenty of time to, figure out if this will work or not. I'm not thinking it will. First, I'm going to verify that it is, in fact, that gear ratio and go from there. But, a little bit of a setback if I have to, sell it and get a, 1.47, 1 to 4.8, 5.0 ratio for V8 setup. But I'll worry about that when I have to. And just those 3 caps in the trim support pole and rod, rather. Clip and washer, and those are the 6 nuts that hold on the outdrive. There are 5 washers. There is a 6 washer, but there's also a screw which holds it into the outdrive, so that's why it's not here. It's still on the drive. But good start so far. Got the drive off, and we'll go from there. And again, with the gear ratio, worst case scenario, it'll be a little bit of a setback, but I'll have to sell it and get the right ratio that I need. But that gimbal housing appears to be in great shape. Obviously, I'll know more when I take it off. But gimbal housing, the motor will be the same. Just need to get the right ratio drive. Alright, that is it for now.